Hey, beer tubers, it's Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog, and today I'm joined by my buddy Daniel out in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're not going to be looking at a American beer today. We're going to be going to Belgium, looking at the infamous Duvel.
Duvel.
So I think we've both had this beer probably multiple times by now, but we've yet to review it on our channels. And so I figure, hey, let's do a collaboration review, take a look at it, and see how it is.
Again, I was pouring it a little bit aggressively, and it just flowed
Yeah.
right out there, man.
Man, you know what? I forgot how light this beer is, to be honest. I just forgot how it's been a while, and
Yeah,
it's a very light golden color.
you got really light straw color, huge amounts of carbonation. I don't know about yours, but I'm just getting
Oh, yeah.
bubbles straight. I mean, it looks like a tornado in my glass is what it looks
Yeah,
like. I mean,
it's
just
almost beyond champagne-like
oh
carbonation.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But it's they're a little bit bigger bubbles. I mean, it's not they're not
I'm getting,
super fine, you know.
yeah, it's three. I mean, this is a beer where you're going to get 3+ finger heads on, bright
Oh yeah,
white. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting smaller bubbles on the bottom, but mostly medium to large bubbles.
yeah.
Should stick around a while with all that carbonation.
Head
So,
is really creamy, really heavy. It's got a really good structure to it. I mean that is a beautiful beer, and I've got to
yeah.
say in that glass, it's that's something else,
Yeah, I'm just starting to already get the aroma on it.
Oh yeah,
Just yeast esters like crazy. Some sweet malt character that they're using Pilsner malt in there. You get some
right.
of that the grain sweetness, but
It's apparently based on like the guys who created it went over to England and kind of were inspired by English ales. And I think they said that the yeast strain they're using is actually Scottish, which is really interesting for this to be like such a classic Belgian beer. But
yeah,
it's actually like a Scottish yeast strain and an English kind of inspiration. But really nice aroma here. I'm getting some like cloviness, a little bit
sure.
of like a banana almost, but I mean that's way down deep. It's really more like that kind of sweet malt
It's
and
definitely yeah. I mean that typical Belgian style yeast is there, but it's not quite as dominant on the nose.
right.
It's the nice sweetness. I mean, I'm sure they're using some nice earthy, maybe spice hops on the beer as well. Those noble hop varieties are probably
Oh
going in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure we're getting some of that too.
That kind of probably mixes in with the yeast character more so than some of the other typical German style
Right. No,
cider
definitely.
beers, the pilsners and stuff. But this is very kind of pilsner like, except it has that Belgian carbonation and
And huge
yeah,
head.
nice an aroma on it. So
Ready to dig in?
let's do it.
Cheers, man. Let's go.
Cheers. Yeah, just carbonation up front.
It's
Just really,
very spicy. I get a lot of that spice almost first thing.
yeah, I think that carbonation really accentuates the spice notes. Not quite like black peppery. I think it's a little more like coriander-ish. A little milder spice notes. That
Yeah,
clove note kind of.
clovey. Definitely getting a little bit of that banana on the back of my tongue. And it's really smooth though, despite the carbonation. I mean, it really like soothes my throat a little bit.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was actually how smooth it was. I don't remember it being this smooth, but wow, it's got a really almost creaminess to it. Although it's more, I would say more that has that effervescence, real nice, refreshing quality to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, and at 8.5, you don't taste that at all, or I don't. You don't get that alcohol at all.
No, you don't get it on the nose, don't get it on the taste. It finishes dry, which you kind of expect. Real clean finish.
Yeah, it's got that nice kind of it's got a kind of a crisp hop to it almost. I mean, it does have that. It's not like hopping the way like an IPA or anything like that is, but it does have like a kind of. It reminds you of like the Fuller's London Pride, like the way that finishes with the hop, where it has that little bit of you know, a
Yeah,
little bit of a crisp kind of. I keep saying spicy, but it's got a little bit of a bite to it.
yeah. There's definitely a little bit of bite. I kind of get it like right before I get a slight amount of that kind of malt sweetness. You get a touch of that kind of, I hate to say grainy because grainy kind of sounds bad, but it kind of has that sort of grainy Pilsner like malt sweetness, just a hint, like right before you get um, those hop notes on there. But what's just nice is the finish is fantastic.
So we're back with Duvel. Still drinking that Belgian golden ale, and we're both kind of on the same page with this. I am going to give this a B plus. I think it's a solid beer. It's good. The one thing I have with it is that that as it warms up, that pepperiness kind of becomes overt, and it gets in the way of the other characters of the beer, and it isn't quite as refreshing as it was. I mean, it's still a really good beer. I would definitely recommend it, and I do recommend it to people, but it's definitely not one of my go-to day-to-day Belgians. How you feel, Ryan?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You get a little more sweetness. The like you were mentioning, there is some subtle banana notes in there, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it starts getting more peppery as it warms up. It's more sweeter and peppery, and unfortunately not quite as kind of crisp and refreshing as you mentioned. So grading wise, I'm gonna go with a B on this one. I've never been a huge fan of Duvel. It's definitely above average for sure. I'm just not gonna put it up there with world class.
Yeah.
I prefer Lost Abbey's Inferno Ale, which is a Duvel like kind of clone. That one has a little more character and complexity to it with its kind of yeast strain they're using than Duvel does. And there's some other, Belgian golden ales that I'd rate a little higher than this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I say B plus just because you got to review, you got to rate the bottle you have in front of you, and
Yeah,
this one is better than I've had it before. Honestly, I like this better than I've ever had Duvel. So maybe it's the glass, but
I don't know. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I would before I'd more be in the C plus B minus range, which might seem a lot low, especially if you love Duvel. And I can see why
yeah,
people really like it
yeah.
because it is a high alcoholic but kind of refreshing drink. I've just never been a huge fan, so I'm gonna go with a just straight B for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so that's going to do it for Duvel. Thanks for Daniel and the Endosymbiosis for joining me on this beer review. It's been fun. Good time reviewing these beers with Daniel and everyone else that I've done with Beer Geek Nation and the whole crew there. So until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks a lot for having me.